Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about something called one lesson learning and kind of how that impacts or relates to TMS, the mind-body syndrome, chronic pain, chronic illness. So I'll get to that in a minute. I was going to shoot at around 5 o'clock before the sun got down, but Tractor Boy next door was running his leaf blower and he didn't stop till it got dark. So here we are inside. Take a couple of nice breaths. Get yourself centered. Hand on the heart. Notice the breath. Breathe in the bravery. Exhale the fear. Breathe in the certainty. Exhale the doubt. And for all you wise guys out there who've been busting my chops, take a look at the bookshelves. Books are back. Had to go through. I've got about 6 boxes that I'm going to be donating. Books I've accumulated. So let's get to the point of today's message. One lesson learning. And what the heck does that mean? Right? As I've talked about many times, the brain's primary job is safety and survival, right? And since that's its default mode, is to keep us alive, when we have a negative experience, it only takes one time, one lesson, for the brain to go, I got it, good, and it remembers it. And it's a wonderful thing from a safety and a survival standpoint. However, when it comes to this TMS mind-body world, it can kind of work against us. It's a good thing from a safety and survival standpoint, but as far as teaching your brain that you're safe, not so good. So what do I mean? So, in my experience, my pain started when I bent over to put on my underwear, of all things. Now, in and of itself, putting on your underwear is not dangerous, but that was the very first time that I had that jolt of pain just kind of grabbed me, and the words that our society uses says, I threw my back out, my back went out, I pulled my back, right? Injury, 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 right? And so that began a 13-year cycle of pain. And it was a one lesson learning that, oh crap, I better not bend over again because I don't want that to happen again because it was so painful. And that was the start of probably a several month episode of back pain for me before it kind of settled down. But then the fear of, hope that doesn't happen again. And then it did. And then it did. And then it did. And throughout my 13 years, I can't tell you how many times my flare-ups, my big episodes came when I bent over. So the one lesson learning is just simply a concept that says the brain learns dangerous things in one lesson. Now, counter to that, I always talk about consistent messages of safety. We have to teach ourselves and our brains that we're really not in danger by bending over to put on my underwear or do whatever it is that typically kind of fires up your symptoms a little bit. You eat one bad food, not one bad food, you eat one food and all of a sudden you've got some gastric distress, some pain, and some diarrhea. Oh no, better not eat that food again, right? And you guys can probably, if you would, comment below. Let me know your examples of your one-time learnings or lessons. What are the things that you've done that went bad or went sideways on us, and therefore you ended up fearing that activity or that food or that whatever again in the future? So I'd love to see some examples of that. But the key point of this video is that it only takes one lesson to learn something negative or fearful. But on the opposite side of it is it takes many lessons to teach our brain that we're actually safe, right? Because if the default mode is safety and survival, it's just going to listen to the fearful, dark stuff faster, quicker, and lock it in more permanently. But it's not permanent. It just takes X number of times more consistent messages of safety for the brain to finally go, oh, you know what? Maybe that wasn't dangerous. And so, if you haven't seen it, go back about a month. Consistent messages of safety. It's really important, because if we can learn fear and danger in one lesson, then it's up to you, up to us, to really give ourselves consistent messages of safety to kind of erase that fearful, programming that we received from that one negative event. So it's not a complex process. It's just really understanding the primary role of the brain. And for anybody who thinks that the brain's out to get you, to punish you, is torturing you, no, remember, its primary job is safety and survival. And if it is continuing the negative experiences called pain or other sensations, burning, numbness, tingling, weakness, if those symptoms are continuing, it's because the brain perceives that you're in a state of danger, and therefore it needs to keep those warning to stop you from doing the dangerous things. So it's really up to us to overwhelm that one-time learning, the one lesson learning, with consistent, frequent, almost a massive amounts of safety messages to kind of overshadow that one lesson learning of the negative experience. So just take a look at what you're doing, what you're thinking and saying most often. Because if the things you are doing and thinking and saying most often, and doing meaning avoiding those things, like, for a while I was not afraid of putting on my underwear, but, I became fearful over time of bending over. And that certainly makes sense, because I didn't want to hurt again. But think about the things you are doing on a regular basis. Are you doing things that are confirming with the brain that those things are dangerous? Are you avoiding movements, body positions, activities? If so, you are reinforcing that one lesson learning as those things are dangerous, as opposed to trying to get the mindset right, the belief system right, to support yourself in retraining or teaching your brain that those things that I've learned were dangerous are not really. Because once you accomplish that and the brain gets the message, the brain will turn off the symptoms and the pains, right? It's a matter of creating safety. And that's really up to us. It's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen by getting pissed off at your symptoms or pain. It's not going to happen by freaking out. That does the opposite. It's not going to happen by eliminating every single thing that triggers you and hoping for the best. Right? We want to do the triggering things consistently with a smile to teach our brain that those things are not dangerous. And if the symptoms do happen to appear, smile and know, the brain's still in protective mode. Have a little bit more work to do. Doesn't mean you won't succeed. Just means that so far the messages of danger are exceeding the messages of safety. Flip that ratio, right? So that the messages of safety overwhelm and overshadow the messages of danger that in many cases were learned through one experience. So that's what I got for you today. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Welcome back to Monday, or whatever day you're watching this. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Love you.